All right. We've all been there, right? Your company rolls out some brand new, shiny piece of tech that's supposed to change, well, everything. And then crickets. Nothing happens. So today, we're going to dig into the real reason why these big tech rollouts so often crash and burn. And more importantly, how we can actually start getting them right.
You know the scene. Some fancy new software gets introduced. There are all these grand promises about boosting productivity and making life easier. But you fast forward a few months and, yeah, it's just collecting digital dust. It's a story that plays out in workplaces all over the world all the time. So what is going on here? What's the real disconnect?
Well, here's the secret. The problem? It's almost never a glitch in the software. It's a huge disconnect with the actual people who are supposed to be using it. The failure, time and time again, is rooted in human behavior. It's not about the tech.
Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we need to look at this deep-seated conflict in how we even think about the workplace. There's this massive clash between the neat, orderly way we want companies to work and the messy human reality of how they actually work. And this quote, it absolutely nails it. See, we used to understand that organizations are, at their core, living, breathing social systems. But then the Industrial Revolution came along and introduced this really powerful but also deeply flawed new model, the company as a machine. And that one mental shift, it has had massive consequences that we're still dealing with today. So just look at this contrast. It's night and day. On one side, you've got that old machine view, where people are basically just cogs, interchangeable parts in a big, predictable process. But then on the other side, you have the social system view, which sees the reality of the situation. It's a living network of relationships, of conversations, of behaviors. The two couldn't be more different, right?
And this is the light bulb moment. What do you think happens when you try to force a new piece of technology into that complex social network while still treating people like machine parts? Well, the network itself, it pushes back. It rejects the change because it just doesn't fit the human fabric of the place. It's a recipe for failure pretty much every single time.
So, okay, if the problem is human, then it stands to reason the solution has to be human too. This is where we find the key to actually succeeding. It's all about learning to work with our natural human behavior instead of constantly fighting against it.
And that brings us to this idea of organizational behavior. Now, don't let the fancy term fool you. It isn't some dry academic concept. It's actually super practical. It's the study of how your team really works. It's about paying attention to the real, on-the-ground interactions that literally define your company's performance and its culture.
And here is the big shift in thinking we need to make. The goal isn't just to install some software. No way. You're actually asking people to fundamentally change how they work, how they think, and how they collaborate with each other. The tech, it's just the catalyst. The real goal is to inspire that change in behavior.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, it's a pretty straightforward three-step approach. First, you just observe. Watch how your team actually gets work done right now. Step 2, you find technology that fits and enhances those natural workflows, not the other way around. And finally, step 3, you guide that transition with empathy, not by just handing down orders from on high. Now, when you get this right, the impact is wow. It goes so much farther than just one successful software launch. What you're really doing is building a culture that's fundamentally more adaptive, more resilient, and just ready for whatever the future throws at it.
The payoff here is absolutely huge. Suddenly, technology stops being this point of friction and becomes an enabler, something that helps your team do what they already do best, but even better. People start to see change as an opportunity instead of a threat. And what you get is this powerful, positive cycle of improvement and engagement that just keeps building on itself.
Ultimately, this is it. This human-first approach is the difference between a temporary, forced fix and a true, lasting transformation of your company's culture. It's about building a solid foundation for the future, not just installing another app for today. So I want you to take a hard look at your own workplace and ask yourself this. Is it being run like a machine, or is it being nurtured like the living social system it really is? Is your culture built to resist change, or is it built to embrace it? Because honestly, the answer to that question will probably define your future success.